There's a big evolution happening, especially with regards to Premier League managers. They're becoming younger and younger. There is a big change. It seems like it's a young man's game right now. For Manchester United fans, the wait is almost over because Ruben Amorim takes charge of Manchester United for the first time as they travel to Ipswich on Sunday. Can he get the club back to where they believe they belong?
I believe that. Call me naive, but I truly believe that I'm the right guy in the right moment. I could be wrong, but the earth still will turn, the sun will rise again. It doesn't matter, so I'm not worried about that. I truly believe that I'm the right guy for this job.
Have you spoken to Jose since you took the job here?
He sent me a message. He told me that it's a lovely club, big club, with lovely people, and that is correct. It still is. But a lot of things change. We are in a different building now. We are building a new one. I'm a different guy. I was learning at the time, and I hope to teach something here to my players. But the club is still big. He still is the best club in England, and we want to win again. It's bigger. There's a lot of departments. It's so much different than Sporting. And Sporting is a big club, but in Portugal, you feel that it's a global club. So you have so much to do. It's not just coaching the team. But I have a lot of help, a lot of meetings. So I'm improving in that areas, but I feel very happy, very comfortable, so I feel at home. I'm a little bit a dreamer, and I believe in myself. I also believe in the club. I think we have the same idea, the same mindset, so that can help. But I truly believe in the players also. I know that you guys don't believe a lot in these players, but I believe a lot. I think we have room to improve, and I want to try new things. So you guys think it's not possible. I think it's possible. We will see in the end. I don't know about repair, but like I said, we have space to grow as a team. I think we have to improve in a lot of areas. The understanding of the game. I know it's a different way of playing, and we are changing in the middle of the season. I think we have to improve the physical aspect of the team. It's something that we want to improve, and that's it. So I don't know how long it will take. I know that when you are in Manchester United, you have to win games. So I will not tell you that I need a lot of time. Of course, we need a lot of time because it's a great league. It's the strongest league in the world, and we have to improve a lot to try to win it. So what can I say is that we have to win games, to win time, and then to win titles. It's not revolution because the football is not so different with 5 players in the back, 3 players in the back, 4 players in the back. I cannot say evolution because we have to wait and see, but we will play a different type of football. We have our ideas. I'm not saying is the best ideas, but it is our way of seeing football. So it's not evolution or revolution, it's a change in the way we play football. So you have to work everybody together, and for that we have to improve the process of recruitment, the data, the profile of the players that we want. But I have to have a strong position on that because I'm the coach. I know how to play, so I think it's all together. But in the final word, as you can say, it should be the manager, not just because it's your right, but it is your responsibility. Because in the end, the results they will ask you about the results is to me. So I think it's all together. Improve the process of the recruitment. I have to understand the league. That is important, and then when everything is aligned, all the ideas, everybody's on the same page, we can buy and sell players. I really don't know the biggest challenge. I will find out during these months. You had here different type of players, coaches. So the guys that won everything, like Van Gaal and Mourinho. You have new ones, like they knew the club inside out, like Solskjaer. Then you have one of the best that there will ever be in the outside the five strongest leagues was Ten Hag. So I don't know. I think we have to improve as a club. We have to acknowledge that we are in the time that we need time, and every coach that comes here needs time.
Forward to.
Yeah, it really is. Another fantastic occasion, you know, to have Man United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, coming to Portman Road for a game on a Sunday in front of a global audience is one to really embrace, one to really look forward to. I know the players are, staff are, and I'm sure the supporters are as well. Of course, coming off a back of a good game and a good result as well makes it an even, you know, better occasion for us. And now we want to go out and deliver a performance and execute really well and show our identity and make our supporters proud. So that's what we're going to try and do.
Coming back off the back, of a great performance, great win at Spurs. Of course, it is an international break. It's not a break for the staff and the players here. Have you used it how you wanted to? Yeah,
it's been good. We've had the balance, you know, of a little bit of rest because we know it's a busier spell coming up now, right through until, you know, really the March international fixtures possibly before we get a break. But also some good preparation time. Preparation time's been important, of course, with, you know, facing the team up next that are under new management. So, you know, that takes a little bit more in the preparation, a chance to review some of our stuff, not just in the Tottenham game, but across the first games in terms of areas that we're doing well, areas that we need to improve. And some good training with those who've been here. And then, of course, as always is the challenge, getting the group together pretty late in the week after being in different parts of the world and trying to get them all refocused and ready for a big performance on Sunday. So, yeah, it's been a good 2 weeks.
And you spoke before the Spurs fixture about a few players perhaps working their way back to full fitness after the international break. Hopefully that's still the case.
Yeah, there's a few who are going to be touch and go. We think hopefully we'll have, you know, good availability over the next week or two. But yeah, Jacob, Jack, Calvin's had a little issue since shortly after the Leicester game. Ben Johnson's had a little issue, to be fair, this week. And there's a few others as well. So we got a few who are going to be touch and go, to be honest, for the game. George Hurst is going to be out with the injury that he picked up in the Tottenham game, which is really unfortunate. So we're going to, you know, put out the side that we think gives us the best chance to win the game. And I think we've got enough depth at the moment to be competitive in the match. I think we'll have some good options on the bench. And hopefully if we can, you know, get a few players back in the next week or so, then we'll have, you know, a strong squad available for a busy run of games.
It is a fixture to look forward to, as you say. Everyone at the club is. Is it a fixture that you were familiar with when you were younger? Were you watching Ipswich Man United? Did that come across on the TV much, or?
No, there was the not the famous game, but in 2000, whenever Ipswich were just back in the Premier League. Was it the first game or one of the first games? So
we had a few. The Wilderness at Portman Road.
Yeah, I have some memory of that from the time actually, but also of course read about it lately as well a little bit more. So. Yeah, it would be nice if it was a more regular Premier League fixture again. Let's be honest. It's it's the level that we want to be back at as a football club. Man United, of course, are one of the biggest clubs in world football. So they're the type of team you want to play against, and of course, to play them at your stadium is always really, really exciting. And you know that's what we've got to look forward to.
Darren, we've been waiting a long time to hear from Ruben Amorim, and now we have. He seems very excited.
Yeah.
He talked about it wasn't ideal that he had to leave Sporting in the middle of the season, but this is the right time. What have you enjoyed most about these early comments from the Manchester United coach?
You know what I've enjoyed? The fact that he looks every inch a Manchester United manager. He's 39 years of age. He's come from a big club where he's been a transformative, and yet he's come to Old Trafford. He's appreciated the size of the club. He talks with a charisma that captivates players. But you don't just have to captivate players in this era. You have to captivate fans. We are in a social media era of sound bites and social media clips where people only get a smidgen of what you're like. So you have to make an impact in that short space of time. I've been captivated by him all day. I've seen various interviews that he has done, and he comes across as confident, charismatic, somebody who's going to get fan bases eating out of the palm of their hand. I would put him on a par in terms of the impact he's already made with his TV interviews with Jurgen Klopp and Mikel Arteta, in so much as you have a big job to do, but your first job right now is to get the fans on side. And he's been clear, he's been decisive in all of the questions that he's answered. Very, very different to Erik ten Hag, who was a tactician, and he was very functional. He is far superior, and I think we'll be seeing pieces even in the news sections of newspaper. Who is this guy who's captivated Manchester and suddenly made the so-called impossible job look easy? This is the kind of guy we're talking about already. That's the kind of impact he's made on me.
I think it's fascinating you mentioned Erik ten Hag and him being a tactician because, you know, we know that he's come from Sporting Club de Portugal. We understand that. We may have recently, since he was linked with Manchester United, looked up, you know, how he plays, what kind of manager he is. But the big news or the big analysis coming from Portuguese media, who would know him better, is that he's not a tactician. He's more of a man manager. He's more of a Jose Mourinho, for example, and that's the approach he's going to have with his players.
Well, yeah, look, we look at Jose Mourinho as a manager and what he's done in the past and when he's been successful. And that's when he's put his arm around his players. He's left multiple clubs, multiple teams, and the players have been crying and he's been crying, and you can see the emotional connection between all of them. You don't get that from somebody barking orders at you. You get that from somebody putting their arm around you and saying, look, you're fantastic. Unlucky this week. It's not necessarily worked for us. Next week, we're going to work on this just a little bit more. Maybe try and do this, maybe do it that way. And that's what works for certain players, especially this new era, this new generation of players.
Darren, have we already kind of seen that with the whole basketball USA trip debacle?
Because his handling of that hasn't been to put the players in the firing line. In fact, I saw one thing that he said, it really grabbed me. He said, I would rather lose my job than throw players under the bus. And again, you're nodding, right? Why are you nodding?
Because that straight away says that the manager's in my corner. The manager's got my back.
There you
go.
So
the last thing you want to do as a player is upset the manager, disappoint the manager, because he's got belief in you. And we all know, if somebody's disappointed in you, that's hard to take. If somebody says, I don't know, you've done this, unlucky, don't do it again, let's move forward, you're more likely to get a better reaction from them by their reaction on that.
And I think
front,
in this modern era, you're not just managing players, you're managing the media, you're managing the fans. It is a different job in this era. And if there is a clarity about your message when you give your first press conference, people want to hear more. Clearly, Ten Hag was a very good manager, but I don't think he was as good with this side of the job, which is very important in the social media era, as the tactical side. And I think that's the reason why he didn't have the success that he thought he would have.
Especially at a Manchester United, which isn't just a Premier League club, it's one of the biggest brands in the world.
Well, exactly. I mean, this is what I mean when I say he's going to be in the front page of a newspaper. There are going to be features about this guy. He speaks and he's got that smile, that is almost fighting to suppress. He's got that twinkle in his eye. Exactly.
He's also excited.
Yeah.
You know, which you want to see.
He's 39 years of age. He is a manager for the modern era. He is somebody who comes in and understands that you have to captivate young millionaire players. You've got to get them on side, and you don't do that with tactics and formations by cracking the whip. You get that by the kind of thing that you were saying, showing that you will support them and you will create a framework within which they can be the best versions of themselves. I get that impression from him already.
Yeah. Well, I want us to hear from the Manchester United players now. Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes has been speaking about the new boss.
No, he's someone that, for what I've seen and for what I've known, someone that is really connects with the players, someone that is really not much into mind games, you know, like he's really quiet on the bench. He's someone that can express himself, but also really quiet and tries to be the one that keeps calm into the pitch. It's someone that has done really good things for Sporting, has improved that team so much. Not only the team, but also the club and the culture of the club.
Yep.
See him.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a different version of him.
Absolutely.
We've already been seeing it.
No.
No.
Go for it. Go on. I think you're going to see a happier Bruno Fernandes. I think you're going to see more goals from him. I think you're going to see more productivity from him. If you look at Bruno Fernandes' yellow cards in the last couple of years, they've all come just before half-time, right? Or most of them. And why have they come? Because he's been moaning at referees, because his team's been under the cosh and referees have been showing him yellow cards as they've been heading down the tunnel. I think the culture, and the little clip there, the culture will be different under Amorim, and you'll see a happier Fernandes who'll go down tunnel celebrating goals, celebrating United being in the lead, inspiring other people around him. He talked about one of his favourite players being Roy Keane, Amorim, because of the impact he had on other players around him. He said, I think I got one or two players like that here, but if I don't, I'll go out and get some. But I just think in terms of Fernandes, we need to see this Fernandes, and I think we will.
But that's what I mean. We've already seen a glimpse of it. In this game, he was involved in all 3 goals, and it's just the start. Amorim hadn't even taken charge yet.
Yes.
But already with the change, we're seeing a better Bruno Fernandes, and you both seem to think there'll be more to come.
Yeah, he's in this game especially. He looked like he was playing with a freedom. He didn't have a weight on that same weight on his shoulders. The expectation is obviously going to be there, but he played like he was a kid playing football in the playground. He was trying things. Some of the areas, some of the angles that he was shooting from, the passes that he had, even his frustration levels didn't quite reach the same levels that we've seen them reach.
CJ, how long have we
times.
been doing this show, right? And we've never actually talked about Man United with the seriousness that we're talking about them now. You know, obviously we respect them, obviously, as a club, but it's almost as if it feels different now, doesn't it?
Yeah, because of the manager. And look, like you mentioned it before, you've got a tactician who's there no longer, and you've got somebody who appreciates and respects players for their personalities. And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see the best of all of these players, Marcus Rashford as well, because of their personalities. We know they're good players. We know they're very good players.
Yes.
But it's just a matter of they've not been able to show that or showcase that because they've felt like they've had the reins on. It looks like, and it seems like with the first week or so of training, that the reins are coming off a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how they perform tomorrow.
He said a really key thing. He said that what I want to change is the culture. But what I also want to change is the understanding that if one player gets the ball, everybody else knows what to do in that moment, because he wants to get them functioning as a team. And for how long have we been coming here saying there are moments side? Somebody has to produce something for them to do something.
Garnacho overhead kick, Bruno Fernandes, shot from 25 yards. One-offs.
Now we're going to see a Man United team, and it's not going to come straight away. I'm not expecting them to go and beat Ipswich 4-1. They're going to have to work hard at Portman Road against a really hard-working side. But I am expecting to see in the coming weeks and months Rashford better, Fernandes better, more of a
even
return
the forwards.
from Hoyland. I was going to say Hoyland and Gunn. There is going to be much more. We're going to be back here gushing about Man United.
You mentioned his age. And I wanted to show you this picture that our producer has dug out somewhere. Because this is Ruben Amorim.
This could be anything.
No, if it was you two, it would be anything. But our producer he's about business, and he's found this picture of Johnny Evans, and that's Ruben Amorim in the background playing against Manchester United.
Wow. Johnny
Evans is now going to be coached by this man. He's played alongside Victor Lindelof. He's played alongside Christian Eriksen, I think. How fascinating is that dynamic going to be?
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I quite respect that as well, from the point of he knows what Manchester United is. He knows what Manchester United have been, what they were. And he wants to get them back to that. He wants to get them back to being the powerhouse that they once were. What Manchester City are now, what Liverpool are now, what Arsenal are striving to be towards, I
like the fact that you've just highlighted that, because it scores the idea that he's got a connection to the dressing room. He understands a player's psyche. He's not going to try and... This is not an era for the autocratic manager, right? This is an era, I should say, for the manager who has an empathy with his players. Why would the City players run through brick walls for Guardiola? Because he's been a player.
Exactly.
He's not too detached from them. He understands what... If you give players everything they need, they will run through fire for you. Klopp's players did that. Slot's players are doing that for him right now. Arteta understands that psyche, and Maresca as well. It's so important you highlighted that, because I think that understanding you underestimate him at your peril. And listen, how many weeks we talk about Hertzler, you know, young man, how big is it going to be? He's made it look easy.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be even more fascinating.
So United go to Ipswich on Sunday, whose manager Kieran McKenna was a coach at Old Trafford up until 3 years ago. Mentality of Ipswich, they'll want to spoil the party, surely.
100%. Listen, this is the biggest football match possibly in world football this weekend. Manchester United, arguably one of the, if not the biggest football club in the world, up against Ipswich at Portman Road as well.
Yeah.
So Ipswich are desperately going to try and spoil the party. And we've seen them do it in their last game against Spurs.
Yeah.
They're capable of it. There's a possibility they can do it. Liam Delap.
I've said that a few times,
yeah. Knows where the back of the net is.
Yeah.
He fancies himself. He's scored a lot of goals for Ipswich this season so far.
Yeah.
He knows every single pair of eyes in the football industry, in the football world, are going to be on him. Same with the rest of the players.
Yeah.
Kieran's going to say, listen, this is a great opportunity for us to absolutely just throw the spanner in the works and ruin their major party.
You see, I look at it in a different way in so much as I think it's a fantastic barometer for just how hard Man United players are prepared to work. Because I think under Amorim, they're going to set a new standard for work, for industry, for learning how to work within what Amorim wants to do. And that was such a good clip you showed, because it showed what Ipswich are capable of under a manager who was a player, who understands Man United, who understands the pressure that there will be on Man United to come there. He's been through a few full storms over the last 10 years because he's been through that club, but he's also been at Man United when they've been powerful, all powerful under Sir Alex Ferguson. So there's no better a person to kind of gauge what is in store for Man United, but also to see how hard they are prepared to work for Amorim. It's going to be a really instructive afternoon on